we go. Okay, everybody, welcome. Hey, it's Saturday, which means it's Rotary Day for a lot of us, and we're here at the mid-year. Check that out, mid-year. I know this feels like it was a time warp, but no, it's not. The reality is it's already January. So I'm going to turn it over to our district governor, Chief Randy, and Chief Randy's going to take us through the program today. So go ahead, Randy.
All right, thanks, Benson. You know, it's totally awesome to see, how many participants we have here this morning. And this probably is the most important Zoom meeting that we have in the year, because it just kind of gives us a barometer check on where we're at and what we need to focus on for the remainder of the year. The first 6 months for me has flown by. I mean, it just, I can't believe, we're already 6 months into, the year and only got half of the year remaining to go. And kind of like being president, being DG, you really don't get good at what you're doing probably until about May, June timeframe, when it's time to for me to hand off to Mark. It has been a great 6 months. I have to say, thank you to each and every one of you for all the hard work that you've done in the first 6 months. And it shows. The district is doing well in many aspects. I think everyone knows that, my number one priority is membership. It still remains my number one priority, and we'll push on that all the way up to 30 June to ensure that we finish the year on a high note with membership. Because as you've heard me say before, without membership, we don't have Rotary. We'll continue to push very, very hard on that. But membership is a part of the agenda, so I won't get into much of that right now. Lane is supposed to be on to talk membership. I haven't seen him pop in yet. But if not, trust me, I can talk membership for the full 3 hours. But I promise I won't do that. Very, very important that, as membership is the number one priority, but we don't let that take away from all the other great things that we're doing in the district. Community service is really doing extremely well this year, and just so many different aspects that it's really just inspiring. As we do well in community service and we do well with the PI piece on it, we will in turn do well with membership. So one just leads to the other. But the community service projects that we've done so far this year, and we've got a lot more stacked up for the next 6 months, whether it be the Geeky Ball project that we're doing here in Hilo. That's a spin-off of the Alawai Geeky Ball project, which is important, I think, for everybody to know that you don't have to create a totally new project. If you see something that's working very, very well, and that's really what we'll get into whenever we get into the details of today's meetings, is best practices. So when you see best practices, there's nothing wrong at all with spinning off of that best practice onto something that works very, very well for your club. But and we have so many of them, and whether it's the community health fair that Doc Allen and his crew put on Maui, which was a huge success with all kinds of PI, Paint the Town in Pahoa, the Sandalwood project that Heather and I participated in Upcountry Maui. It just goes on and on. The dictionary projects, everything that we do, if we put a good PI spin on it, it's just going to, we will reap benefits of that project in increase in membership and in retention. And of course, for us to increase membership, we have to do two things. We obviously bring in new members, and we have to retain our current members, which is, they're equally important. With good community service projects that your members are participating in will keep them as members, especially when you tie in the fellowship. And so, whether it's a bike path cleanup or tree planting that we're doing currently around the state and on each one of the islands or whatever, we just have to get a good PI spin on it. And we just recently this week found out, actually day before yesterday, that Rotary is being recognized by the city and county of Honolulu as stormwater heroes, and that involved Central Oahu clubs along with the Eco Club. So they're having an event over on Oahu on the 1st of March to recognize the Rotary clubs in Rotary for being stormwater heroes. Again, just excellent PI. And the part that I really like about that is its payback to those members that put in so much time and effort on a, just a regular recurring basis out there, week after week, and making a difference in the community and for it to be noticed. And that's the, an important piece of it, is being noticed for all the great efforts. But we're doing great, international service. We just got back, I shouldn't say we, because I didn't go on the trip, but Naomi and many of the others did on the Nepal and Bhutan Rotary International project that they were doing down there. A lot of great information on that. Great results for the project. And then we have the Fiji project coming up later on this year. We don't have a definitive date on when the Fiji project is going to take place. We're hoping to execute it this year, but depending upon the arrival of the equipment that we purchase in the Fiji project. For those that don't know, the main project is a solar project array that we're putting on a school that has no electrical infrastructure at all other than a diesel generator. And that will happen in the June timeframe. If it doesn't, we'll carry it over into July or August, but it all depends upon the arrival of the equipment and how soon we can get it installed. So there's all kinds of successes out there, in just about every aspect of Rotary. So, just a huge thank you to all of you, and you'll hear me talk about, the importance of this meeting and continuing to push all the way through to the 30th of June and not let up, because I can tell you historically, after PETS hits, that there's a shift in the current presidents kind of take a step back. We don't want that to happen this year. We want to push all the way to 30 June with our projects, with our membership, with everything that we've got going. And then we want to cap it with the just a conference in Hilo. And Jen and Lori will talk more about that whenever we get to it. And I'll kind of recap that towards the end. So with that, Benson, I will shift things back to you.
Okay, Matt, we're gonna do a little activity here. It's only gonna take about 5 minutes. I'm gonna pose a question. It's a simple question, and the question is, the one thing that's happened in my club that I would want to tell everybody about is fill in the blank. Now, think about that. Write your answer in the chat so that we can all see the answer. I'm going to give you guys about 60 seconds, and then I'm going to start calling people at random. All right. And so all you have to do is say, hi, I'm Benson Medina from Southfield. And the coolest thing that happened to us is we got to work on a joint project, planting trees, something like that. Pretty simple, right? All right, you guys ready? Okay, put it in the chat. You guys got it in the chat? All right, cool. All right, so Paula, let's start with you. The one thing that happened in my club this year that I would want to tell everybody about is, go for it.
Wow, I'm the first one, Benson.
Yeah, because you know what? Is that you're right in the middle of my screen, so it's pretty easy.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
pick something. Yeah, it doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It just to be like whatever.
I'm gonna make it groundbreaking. So,
Okay.
as maybe many of you guys know, by the way, I'm Paula from West Pro Harbor, and we're a pretty small group. And in the beginning of my presidency, like I think my main focus was just to restore, the relationship that we have in the community, focus on the relationship, connecting again, and membership, and that way we might get more members. So there's just been a lot of events, networking with our club the first 6 months. And because of this networking, we were able to get in touch with a group called New Now. And if I'm not, maybe I'm mispronouncing Benson, but new means coconut in Hawaiian.
Good.
Yeah. So there's this group right there called New Now, and their movement is to focus on reestablishing our relationship with the coconut and the Asian knowledge practices of our coconut heritage. So West Oahu gave them 11,000 square feet to prepare a dryland forest, and they have invited us to help them plant these trees. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm hoping that the district can be part of this project during Rotarians at Work Day. But I will give you guys more information as the planning is coming along.
Woo-hoo. All right, Paula, thank you so much. So Al Whalen, how about you? You're next.
Well, Randy mentioned we did the Health and Wellness Fair that collaborated with 3 other clubs in Lahaina. And we are planning to replicate that in South Maui and working with the Kihei Youth Center, which is going to have its 40th anniversary and is an organization that we have supported for a number of years with different types of equipment.
All right. That's awesome. Nathan Cam, how about you, man? What's happening in downtown?
How's it, everybody? Good morning. A lot's happening in downtown, but I guess just one little fun thing we did. We figured out we had a whole bunch of folks that really love sports. And so we ran a little fantasy football league this year where we make wagers against each other. And I think about a dozen of us participated, club members and outside club member people. So $50, $25, $100 a week kind of thing, but per person.
Wow.
Has significantly raised some pretty good happy dollars for the club rather quickly. And so something fun, something different, and something that's been a little bit successful. So yeah, feeds the pot for more public service opportunities and other fun.
That is awesome. Man. Everybody jotted that one down. That's pretty cool.
Gambling works. So.
There we go, man. Well, people and what they say about people in Hawaii, man. They just love that. So Chuck and Kona, what's happening, man? What are we doing in Kona today, this year?
We've been trying to keep busy with a lot of different little things. One is focusing on membership, which we could be doing better there, but we'll be working on that. Most recently, Nestor and our incoming president were out, and we were just finishing adding languages to the peace polls that we have here in the west side of Hawaii. And we've got several more. We're just continuing trying to install peace polls and make sure we have as many different languages as we can. And we haven't done very well on this, but it's one of your pet projects, and that's the concern with our marshallese here on this side of the island. And
Yep.
so
Yep.
that's something we are keeping in mind.
Okay. Cool, man. Thanks a lot, Chuck. Appreciate that. Let's see. How about Mr. Barry Harris? What's up in Kaneohe? Let's see.
Well, actually, we had one of our past HRYF recipients back in 2020 visit with our club to give us an update on how they're doing and matriculating in college. That first year was the COVID year, so she didn't actually get to go to campus, but did classwork online. She's at USC now in California, Southern Cal, and is a bioengineering major. And what impressed us the most was all the service activities that she's doing, because of course we've encouraged her to try to find a Rotaract club there at USC. But she has really worked hard with the Ukrainian effort, and has even made trips internationally in terms of service and helping out there. So she's a student, former student of the school where I actually worked. The school is within our Kaneohe area. I was just really proud to kind of see the work that she's doing and the service that she's doing at such a young age, and to see the trajectory that she's on. So that was really cool for the club to kind of see that the money is being well spent, and we're in good hands for the future.
All right. Thanks, Barry. That's awesome. Okay, couple more folks, and then we're gonna roll it back to Randy. We'll talk about membership. So Paul Nakachi, what's up in Mililani? I know you guys have been working on some stuff over there.
Morning, Benson. I think the coolest thing that we have done this year is to sponsor a new Interact Club at Mililani Middle. It was done earlier this Rotary year. We have a great advisor in Bridget Hanu. She used to do this when she was at Kapolei Middle, I believe. And when she organized the Interact, over 40 students signed up. They meet weekly, they do projects. She's done a very good job, and attended a meeting just Thursday, and there were over 28 members there. And the project they're working on is a peace pole that Rotary will finance on the campus of Mililani Middle. Thank you.
Right on. Okay, so I want to encourage you guys to take a look at some of the projects that people have done. They posted in the chat, and we have a really active district, which is great. We've been doing a lot out there, so I'm gonna turn over to Naomi now, who's going to talk a little bit about our membership stats. Go ahead, Naomi.
Okay, well, before I go into the stats, I wanted to let you know what we have in store for you today. So we're going to be doing the stats, and then Benson will talk about how we can move forward on membership. And then we're going to do a breakout by size, club size, where you can talk about what's working and what's not working in membership and engagement. So talking about recruiting, keeping members, the care and comfort for your members. We'll do that for about 15 minutes, regroup, share some information. And then we have a little bit more about membership on new clubs, satellites, the cause-based clubs. We'll talk a little bit more about that because it's just for information. Then we'll take a break at 10 o'clock. Then Jen will talk about district conference. Then we'll talk a little bit about foundation statistics. Beth will talk about awards. We'll update you on Rotary Club Central, talk about community service. After that, youth service, vocational service, girls empowerment, and then course correction. So then we'll wrap it up with some reminders. Okay, so let me go back to the stats and I'll share my screen. So these are the stats for membership. Okay, so the Rotary Club Central shows us what we've done in the past 5 years. So for membership trends, where we've gone from July 1st, 2018 to where we are now, and then the gender trends. So gender trends, interesting, huh? Where the female population of our members have been growing, but we're, by the way, our district ranks 9th district in the world on female membership percentages. Awesome, huh? So this is where we stand right now on membership for numbers and gender trends. We started at 1454 this year, July 1st. We admitted 149 people, but 115 terminated. So where we are right now is 1,488. So we're up, and congratulations to these clubs that have good membership counts. So Hilo, of course, Hilo is a big club, so they can reach out more. But whoa, Nancy and her membership team, 23 members. The Eco Club of Maui is up 9, East Honolulu 6, Eco Club of Kaka'ako up 6, Waikiki 6, Lahaina 5, Pahoa up 5, and West Kauai up 5. So really great numbers. Let's keep it up. So I wanted to let you know that we have a membership workshop. So this will be on February 11th from 10:30 to 11:30 on Zoom. Please let your membership committees know and your club trainers to please come to the workshop. So the workshop is to develop or update your membership action plan. So where we are in the club, what we need to do for growing the club, retain members, what is our value proposition, and really care for members. So care for members is one of the top reasons why people stay in the club. Rotary International did a survey of club members around the world, and that was number one, that they felt that they were part of a club, that they belonged. And so that is that comfort and care that Jennifer Jones talks about. And right now, because of the pandemic, we're coming out of that. People are still like PTSD. We really need to look at the mental health, and that's one of the initiatives coming up is mental health. So care for your members is really important. So, when we talk about the membership, how you keep members, how they feel part of your club, in the bank, we have this thing called sticky products. So sticky products are these products that you give a customer so that they want to stay with your bank. They don't want to leave. They can't leave because they have all of their automatic payments through the bank. So when you think of Rotary and how we have sticky products, it's that engagement and how engaged they are in your club. So please mark that date, and please encourage your committee, your membership committee, and club trainers to attend that meeting so that we can brainstorm, share great ideas, and see how we can move forward. So speaking of moving forward, Vincent, how do we move forward on membership?
Okay, so Naomi's gonna set up the breakout groups, right, Naomi? So we'll talk about moving forward, not just in membership, but really, membership is just part of the big whole. So let me talk about just these 4 things real quick, right? All right, so so the last half of the year, and actually beyond that, what we've seen in clubs is that really calendar drives activity. Right. So if you have an active calendar, then you're going to have an active club. But some clubs, their calendar is just going kind of week to week instead of 3, 4, 5, 6 months out. And what's happened over here in East Hawaii is that we've kind of come together, the clubs here, and kind of combined our calendars so that we can work together sort of as a group, and it makes all of our activities better attended. We're able to kind of accomplish more and ultimately have greater impact. So, when we're talking about moving forward in terms of membership, it's really these activities that generate interest in Rotary. And so people see us out there or see your clubs out there participating, and they want to be a part of that. And so remember that the concept is really is that you can't grow Rotary in Rotary. So the clubs that are growing are the clubs that are doing outreach. You know, I mean, you looked at those stats that Naomi shared. So you see Pahoa had 5. That's almost 100% increase for those guys because they only had 8. And so, and it's a testament really to the people that are doing outreach. So if you're reaching out, putting out activities where other people can participate that are not Rotarians, that's really a huge thing. So you have to kind of look at your community like everybody in your community is a Rotarian, except they don't know it yet. And so they just simply want to be invited to the party. And that's one of the best ways to grow your local club, the club that you're in right now. That's one of the best ways to do it. So as we come into the last half of the year, got to start reevaluating your goals, right? So all of you that are here now that are presidents, you were putting your goals in last May, right? Or even before that. So now it's time to sort of reevaluate and start thinking, all right, well, how many of these goals could we conceivably finish before the end of the year? And how many of them do we have to really sort of pass forward, right? That, you know, we're not gonna finish them, but maybe they can be moved into next year, right? And then that just rolls into building continuity in your club with your president-elect. So when you guys hear, and you know, Mark and Kathleen were at IA this past week, and you know, the Gordon McAnally, our incoming president, president's new message was really about continuity, and you build continuity simply by including the incoming leadership. You build continuity by setting up leadership down the line. So, you know, you guys were all at PETS last year, and you know, that's pretty exciting time. And you know, the people that are going to be going to PETS, we're going to go in a couple of weeks now. They're going to come back. They're going to be super excited. We've got a whole program, a transition program for them for the rest of the year. And I would encourage you to start working with whoever your PE is and start to think about integrating them into the operations and the logistics of what the club is doing, so that by the time they take the gavel on July 1, feet are on the ground and they're ready to go. And then I want to encourage you guys to continue to work in your AG groups. So this is kind of a unique phenomena in our district, District 5000, because if you go into some of the other districts, and you know, some of you guys have been going to PETS and everything, they typically don't work together. The clubs don't work together as a group. Some of them do, but over the last couple of years, we've really sort of adopted that as kind of the way we do things over here. And when you look at the goals or the strategic priorities that Rotary is trying to put out there, right? So increasing our impact, expanding our reach, increasing our participation, right? And increasing our ability to adapt. Working together is the best way to increase reach, the best way to make impact, the best way to increase participation, not just in your club, but in all the clubs that are around you. And then obviously, when you make that kind of impact, then you have the ability to adapt, as conditions change. So that's my message about moving forward. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as time goes on. So I'll turn it back to Naomi. If you're ready to do the breakouts, or do we want to go back to Randy?
Ready to do the breakout. So we've got 6 rooms, and you self-select. So go down to the bottom and select, go to breakout rooms and select the room that you want to go. It's by size. So small, medium, large, go to the size room. And we're going to be talking about best practices and issues. So on membership, so what's working for growing and retaining members. This is the time to share and to ask questions if you have a question about what's not working. Okay, so I'm opening the rooms now.
Let's rock and roll here. All right, gang. Is that fun or what? Yeah. So can we have a show of hands of who's still in their pajamas besides me? Yeah, okay, no worries. All right, let's we got a few minutes to do a little feedback. So I got the list of people that are in the clubs that were in the break car. So in the small group, Susie Osborne, can you give us a kind of a quick feedback on what happened in your group?
I think Doug is doing that for us. He took the
Oh, okay,
notes.
good.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks,
Doug, you-
Susie.
Doug,
Yeah,
you
it
were-
was a really good meeting of the minds, a discussion both of best practices as well as challenges. Let me just lead a bit with a couple of the challenges. One, obviously for small clubs, it can be difficult because there aren't a whole lot of folks to fill out all the Rotary responsibilities, and you find a few people trying to do a bunch of stuff. And that can lead to burnout, and that's something really to pay attention to. We did hear also, though, that there are opportunities potentially. We heard from the Eco Club of Maui where they've developed spreadsheets to help with committee functions and the idea of what can be done to help the folks that are identified as chairs in those committees. Also, the identification is best practices, kind of the calendar idea, helping to lead to stability. A focus on collaboration with other clubs that are in your district or in your area, really helping with that. Now, please don't highlight me. That's not really good. And then the idea of outreach being another piece of that, right? Really important to be able to, that when you are engaged with your community, particularly as a small club, letting the community know that it's your Rotary Club that's involved in that. That can only help, both as an example of what Rotary does and your club is doing, but also for the community to know that there are opportunities there for the community to get together in terms of the activities that they're doing. There's a number of other things that folks talked about as well, and I don't want to discount any of this, but I know that others have things to say as well, so I'll leave it there.
Okay, Doug, thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, so next group, Jennifer Barr, Barry Harris, who's speaking for you guys? Anybody? Or shall we just pick somebody at random? Who would like to speak for that group?
Actually, in our club, Rachel brought up some really good questions that made us all ponder and reflect in terms of our clubs and how do we get things going. Rachel, do you mind? I don't want to speak for you, but I thought you brought some really good points in terms of what you're dealing with and some of the things that were suggested.
Okay, where's Rachel? Rachel?
You're muted, Rachel.
Rachel's muted.
Okay.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
mind, I don't mind, Barry, but
Thank
please
you.
jump in if I miss something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
This, I guess, is a common problem, but we have an older club and the older members are holding fast to their projects, to their positions, and we get new members in, but there's really no mentoring going on. And I can tie the new members into current projects. The older members don't show up for the projects unless it happens to be their baby. And so Barry and Sandy and Jerry were talking about how you actually get the older members to mentor the younger members by highlighting the experiences they've had and sort of the way they've approached things. Not that they couldn't change and not that they shouldn't be updated, but giving them a little time to brag about sort of their experience in Rotary. And I think that's a really good idea to tie into our speakers that we bring. We have got new members from speakers who talk, but maybe we need to add on a little older Rotarian snippet at the end, you know, about what their experience is and how they can help the newer members. Because I'm having a hard time getting officers. They just recycle and have been recycling for a long time. And I have a hard time getting committee members. Like if I don't start a committee and I'm not there, it doesn't happen, you know, and I really want the committees to take over. So they had some really good ideas also about, trying new community options. We do the newspaper, we do that kind of thing, but the public image and maybe getting some of our younger members to use, some of the social platforms, which I don't use at all, but that's how they communicate. Did I miss anything, Barry?
That's
Great job. Great job.
That's a great job. Yeah, thanks, Rachel. That was super. Okay, Sue Ann Lee, how about your group? There's Sue Ann. You're on my screen. Go for it.
Just unmuted. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't catch everyone's names and I wasn't really paying that attention to who said what. Okay, so
Okay.
I really like the idea of friend raiser. So rather than a fundraiser, this club invites friends to an event. And I think they had like 20 something members. Can someone else speak up for that one? I forgot who it was.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else in that group? Dick, Don, Jerry, Joanne, Conrad, Astoria, anybody else?
That was my club. We have one coming up Tuesday. And every member was asked to invite a friend or somebody. We have more friends coming than we have members coming, but that's okay. We're going to have about 50 people there. We're going to do a little thing about Rotary. These are things we do. And we're providing free poo-poo. Out of our friend raisers, Jim Fonestock has done this for years. Thank God COVID's over. We can do it again. And out of every fundraiser, we usually induct at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 new members. And I'll put in the chat the flyer. And if anybody has any information, you can let me know.
Great, thanks. Dick is doing good relationships with the schools and Interact clubs. And that's how they start bringing in members that way.
You want to chat on that, Dick?
Yeah, we're dealing with about 16 schools, 12 elementaries with dictionaries, but we now got the middle schools starting to coordinate with the high schools above them. So there's transitions there. The main thing is we went after the student council for all these schools and we got them. And so the transition, we're looking at getting all the kids in the elementary schools knowing about Rotary, recognize Rotary, the dictionaries, and as they move up, join the Interact clubs at the intermediate and the high school. We're getting the Polymoral Hospital to work with their dietitian, to work with the culinary academies at Pearl City High. And so we're starting to integrate and try to bring in business leaders to work with all these students and kids. And hopefully through all this over the next 2 to 3 years, we start bringing in meaningful members. The other thing we discussed, which I've been toying around with, and Joanne's club has started to do it, is I'm looking at talking to a board about having 3 different types of paid-in membership. For those under 30 or 35, it would be a way lower amount. 35 to maybe 50 or 55, another one, and after that they're paying the full boat. Because our dues are 350. We're gonna look at the Pearl City Lions Club, which has 100 members. Their dues are only $94 a year. So every time people look at what we're asking, that's an awful lot of money. So our club can afford it, so we're probably going to go down that road.
Okay, Dick. Yeah, thanks for that input. Okay, let's move up. Connie, what about your group? Who's speaking? Probably you for your group.
Oh, we didn't know we were supposed to share, Benson. You guys got to tell us that.
Yeah, well, you go into the group. I mean, it's kind of like that's kind of what we do, right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our group had some great ideas and it was like concepts because what the main thing is, we always want to have fun. And another thing is to be consistent, persistent. And actually, Jenny had some really great input on her club because her club is working with actually not so much new potential members, but partnering with other nonprofits, and then their events are very well attended and a lot more PI with that. So that was another kind of a different concept in there. And one thing for retention and care, one thing that we do in our club is like try to do a Rotarian spotlight every meeting. And that one is kind of like gets you more bang for your buck, because I kind of picked somebody at first who is someone who is in charge of a subcommittee. So I asked them to send like a personal picture, like a family picture or something that they do outside of Rotary, and give me a short bio. They stand up, be recognized, and then they go ahead and introduce all of their committee members. So they all stand up and everybody gets, yay and hand claps and stuff. So it's one way, it only takes like a couple minutes, unless Nancy's talking, then I got to set aside a little bit more time. Usually I got to pull her and Randy, I got to pull them off from the mic. So I usually got to pad a couple minutes for those two, but it's a nice way to recognize some of our longtime members. Yeah, we all just talked and had a good time in our breakout room. And you guys want to add anything else? You guys can, please do, because I didn't take notes.
All right. Okay. Dave Mazurman, what happened in your group?
Well, we had a nice spirited conversation about a very varied solutions. One of the things obviously was Pauhanas. A lot of people were thinking about breaking away from just the meeting routines and doing some Pauhana get-togethers. And I got Jerry Denton looking at me on the screen, and he wasn't in my meeting, but I kind of brought him up because we kind of had a get-together with him as the PE and a bunch of past presidents. And I'll share with you what he shared was, sometimes people are members of other groups, of other organizations, like church groups or things of that nature. And maybe you were a mentor to a bunch of youth that are now getting up to age where they might want to be involved with a community service group. And so why not reach out to those people that you may be a trusted advisor? And Jerry, I don't know if you want to say anything about that, but I know we're doing cross-pollination of groups here, but that was one that I thought was a really exciting possibility, because now you're a trusted advisor that's reaching into a group that also is looking at getting involved.
I will just add that one of the things that came up in that discussion was that the method of communication with younger people is not the same as with us who don't have any hair left. The media is different, the language is different, the priorities are different, and I believe it's going to take an education for those of us who've been around a while to recognize that if we want to attract younger professionals into our circles, you be able to an environment and a methodology to communicate that works for them as well as for us.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate you jumping in on that one. But yeah, we had other solutions, people getting together for socials, Dutch lunches. I'll open it up to anybody else from our group that might want to say something really quickly.
Anybody else?
I know
No.
Beth said that they were breaking away from the traditional Pacific meetings over at the yacht club and also doing something as a social act on a different day.
Good variation. That's awesome. All right, last group, Kimo. Kimo, we haven't heard from you today. Or maybe we did and I forgot, but yeah, you wanna chat up your group a little bit?
I was in a small group then. And
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about, one of the things we talked about was several of us are repeat presidents. So, that's sort of an activity. And assigning when a new member comes in, getting them primed for becoming the PE. So I think we've got to be cautious about that. The other thing more broader that we talked about is supporting each club supporting each other on membership. And that's evolved. I think some of us, and Randy can probably speak to this too, that instead of competing for members, we now support each other for clubs on membership. And because each club has its own sort of personality. And so what we can do is you can see the difference between, I'll just say Honolulu Sunset and downtown Honolulu, they're very, very different clubs, and the dynamics is different. So highlighting that and letting members, potential members, see the difference and variation of Rotary, not that it's just one club, but it's just various clubs. And you might be able to fit better into another club. And so we're all much more respectful of that sort of activity. So I think that was a key part of what we talked about in the small club.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys. Wow. Riveting conversation. Good job, everybody. Okay, so we're gonna transition out. Naomi, I'll send it back over to you.
Okay, really great ideas. Thanks for sharing all of that. And, it just shows that how when we have a situation where people of action, we look for problems and we solve them. Well, actually, problems find us, right? But being flexible and adapting to the situation. So, Jim, thank you for that, for, really trying to coordinate this with other clubs, because every club does have its own culture and flavor. So if you have a situation where you've got a group of people in your club and they can't meet at lunchtime because they're working, you could form a satellite club. So these members would meet at after work at a bar or whatever, and on their own agenda. They don't have to have a speaker, but they are still members of your club. So consider maybe doing a satellite club with 8 members is to start a satellite. Think about maybe spinning it off as a new club. If you have a big community and you're a morning club and you know that people want to meet after work, why not sponsor a new club in the evening hour? And so they can meet in the evening, they can meet on Saturday, Sunday. It could be families coming together to meet. These are other ways that you can help start new clubs and start new groups. The thing about the problem about positions in a small club, you said that you don't have enough people. What you could do for that one is have one person as the service project chair, and that person will oversee all of the service projects in the club. And that way you don't have to have specific committee chairs. Although on Club Runner, you want to identify those people. Okay, so we're going to take a short break so you can get some more coffee or, go to the, Lua, and then we're going to regroup and hear about the district conference. So come back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Na, 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 na. All right, cool. You see me down over there by the pool. Just,
Yeah.
That little brown speck. Yeah, that's me.
Hey, Benson, did you get Steve lined up for Tuesday?
I have to sit here for 3 hours.
Not yet. I communicated with him and he got back, but I'm gonna call them. You know that phone number that you gave me?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was area code 611.
Does that bother you?
Right?
I don't know. That's what his thing said, but I'll call George Applegate and
Yeah.
Did you try it and it didn't work?
Well, no, because I just thought it was odd that it was area code 611, but that's okay. I'll try it. I just emailed him. I haven't heard back from him yet, but I'll get it.
Okay.
It's on my
Shoot.
list of things to get today. So
Okay.
Hey, Ben, Benson, Randy and Naomi. I am part of the volunteer group for the Kona Club, the Pro-Am golf tournament. And they're having an orientation today. So I need to head over there after this hour. So I'll just be on my phone kind of driving over. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I wanted to participate.
well, we'll know that your presence will be there, right? We'll feel your mana in the room. So yeah, no worries, Kimmo. We'll get you.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
letting us know.
That number doesn't work, Benson, so I'm gonna call
Yeah.
George and get his number.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you know what? I just figured out 611 is cell, C, big C, What LL, so it's 8:08.
Woohoo! Good thing we're smart. Yeah, good thing we're Rotarians to get ability to figure that one out. Okay, I get him. I'll give him a call.
Hey, Jen, so I'll play the pictures again for you, right before you start. Okay?
Thank you.
And then, Ryan is here. He'll cover Ryla.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Benson, are we at 5 minutes?
Yes, we're like 5, 4, 3. Yeah, we're 5 minutes.
Okay, so everybody's back, right?
Yeah, everybody's back. All right, everybody, thanks for coming back.
Okay, so Jen can start talking while I scroll through these pictures.
Hi, everybody. Let me make sure you can hear me. Can everybody hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Can hear you.
All right, great. Okay, well, these are photos of the beautiful Naniloa and Queen Liliuokalani Garden that is very close to the hotel. And wow, it's countdown time. There's only 4.5 months, actually only 4 months away before this all becomes a reality. Right now, we show 163 fully paid members. We will be releasing a la carte very shortly, but referring to the report or the things that we really need to pay attention to, that gives us a good gist of who we need to contact for what information. It's a soft touch about what's going on, when, where, how, and yeah, as far as we just had a tremendous meeting with the Naniloa Hotel. That would be Nancy, Randy, I, and Beverly Heikes. And they're going to do wonderful things for us. It's going to be exciting for sure. Things include, besides the great meals being made by Hula Hula Restaurant, we will have a nightly entertainment that will be going on. They'll give us great pricing for drinks and beverages and foods. We will also, as we have it headlining here in the items, some spectacular entertainment. And last night, Beverly and I went out and listened to Matty Wong at our local Hilo Burger joint, and that was really wonderful. And he'll be playing during the dinner music of our conference. I know there's so much to cover. We're gonna, I'll put the link for the YouTube for you to share with your clubs. I can call on Conrad as far as, has there been any difference to the numbers, or do we need to re-verify anything? If Conrad, and I apologize too, Lori had another commitment, so she was not able to make it to today's meeting.
Jen, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as the adventures we can sign up for, is that going to be on Thursday or Friday?
It will be Thursday or Friday, depending on Thursday and Friday, depending on the tour you want to take. They will offer evening tours on both days, but if only one person signs up, then that may be a problem. So just call Kapoho Kind, and they're going to go ahead and make sure you use the Rotary discount when you call them. The other thing we're looking to, I just met with Hoppa On, Hoppa Off tours, which makes it easy to get into town and out of town. However, they do not run daily. They run with the cruise ships, but I will also be sending out information to see if you're interested, because they may make specific buses for us to get on and off. The only thing, they do not go to the airport, and they do not drop off at the hotels. It's at Queen Liliuokalani, which is less than a 5-minute walk away from the hotel. That's when they're even offering to do falls. They're getting they're trying to see if they can work in a discount with us. So I will be posting that information, hopefully by next week, to get you guys all excited. They're just a small husband and wife operated tour, and the cruise lines do most of their business. So other than that, they're really going to try to see what they can do for us during the conference.
Okay, we're getting some of our members interested in going by doing something at KMC, staying there for maybe 1 or 2 nights. What's the distance between KMC and the Naniloa?
I will tell you I'm working with KMC with Ryla, and they are really short of manpower. So, and they're hard to get a hold of. So if you can reach out to them, they were suggested in the very beginning for tours and possibilities, but it's been a rough road for them. They're just trying to get themselves situated because of the demand by visitors traveling to the Volcano National Park.
Yeah, so the answer to the question is 26 miles.
Okay.
That's the answer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they said how far is it? So it's 26 miles, and I know that because I drive it every day. So
26 miles, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Adrian has a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Are there rental cars available?
Yes, in fact, in the information that will be posted, if not already, there's all the rental sites. I will say it's less than a 10-minute drive from the airport. So, if it's just where you're going to be going for a couple of days early, you might look at the considerations, but it's real easy. You walk out of the airport terminal, you cross the crosswalk, and our rental stations are right there. No off-prem driving or anything.
And when you're talking about discount, is that a discount from the $171 that's noted on the information sheet that we got? For both tours, it was $171 a piece. So that's, if you're doing 3 people, that's almost $500 to take a trip up to the volcano, which you could rent a car and drive up there yourself for, half.
Right.
And I know you get a tour with some, some science person and then a lunch, but that's my question is the 171 that's noted, is that the discounted price?
Yes.
Okay.
That is, we are getting on the Evening Explorer Tour, that tour is usually $240. They're giving us a discount there. It is an evening tour, unlike the day tours. I am working with Hapa On, Hapa Off to see what their rate would be for a daytime tour to the volcano with no frills. That would be about $110. But again, they would have to have enough people to support that. So I will get that information. I know what Kapoho Kind Tours does is they take their most popular tours and they try to make tours that even residents haven't been done. So that's why they're on the pricey side, but you couldn't do these tours anywhere else in the world.
Okay, so if you I'm more interested in Mauna Kea.
Mm-hmm.
And sounds to me like we should fly in Thursday morning and do that tour Thursday afternoon into the evening, because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is just jam-packed with activities and things. And so it's not going to work to go up to the volcano, let's say, on any night, because there's this and that.
So Adrian, those
okay.
are like 7 or 8 hour tours, so that's why it covers a whole lot.
I get it.
So
I'm just
take a look at that. They're offered on Thursday and Friday if somebody wants to sign up. But we need to go through that list, Jen, of what the presidents need to know, and then Nancy has her hand up too.
Okay, but that helps a lot. Okay, for Thursday.
Okay, so yeah, let's quickly go through the list and then Nancy, I'll get right back to you. At the Rotary D5000 link, just go into, you'll see it on the homepage, click on DISCON. It will tell you all the information regarding reservations, registration, transportation, the golf tournament, the Mauna Kea and volcano tours. We soon hope to be adding on the hop on, hop off tours, and then all the details of what is going on as far as the information. I apologize. We have taken a little bit of a while to get these forms and information to you, but I guarantee we are working very hard in the backgrounds to make it as simple as possible for you and to give you ample time. So within the next 2 weeks, you're going to see quite a bit of difference to the DISCON page. Conrad letting you know, yeah. So Uber is also availability. And for people that already know people here in Hilo, picking up from the airport, picking up from the, taking back to the airport, the Hilo will roll out the red carpet for you, I'm sure. I'm confident rather. Who to call as far as celebration of life? Joanne, I'm not sure if there was confusion. I know you were assisting and possibly helping with the forms. Is that right?
Yes, the forms will be sent to all the presidents this weekend. So everything will come to me, and then at the event, because my youth exchange student is graduating that weekend, at the event, Arlene Estrella will be putting everything together, but all the forms, everything will come to me, and you'll get a lot of respectful nagging about submitting things.
Thank you so much. And Mitch Stoda will be the one in charge once the program begins on that Sunday. We're going to miss you, Joanne. Okay. Golf, Doug, anything you wanted to add?
Not at the moment. Thank you, Jen.
Okay. And then House of Friendship handled by Lynn Goya, her contact information. Roz, we'll be getting out information soon from Polio Walk. Roz, anything else you want to add? Is Roz there?
Could I ask a quick
Not at
question?
this time.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is, do you have to be registered with the conference to attend something like the Polio Walk, or can this be outreach to our club members?
How has it been handled in the past? I'm not sure. We're looking at 50 registrants. So I know in the past we've maximized that. We could look into adding more, but so it would be just a matter of attending the Polio Walk and then leaving, correct? You wouldn't be even coming to the hotel.
Well, I'm just thinking about the opportunity for our members. But I didn't realize there was a cap. And if it's 50 and you have 200 in the conference, you're likely going to max out. So never mind.
Oh, no, Susie, we can look at it and see where it's at and then reach out. Program adds that Sonia Mendez, along with Nancy Cabral, who is working with sponsorship and doing hard work on that. Nancy, did you want to add anything there?
My apologies for taking so long. Marcia Prose and I have met finally. She got back from North Dakota the other day, freezing, but I'm trying to have that sent out really soon on what the sponsorship things are so that you could sponsor. We're looking at maybe being the sponsor. Ask Doug to be a sponsor of the 18th hole, a sponsor for, we're just coming up with nice things that people could tag on to and come up with ideas so you could sponsor the speakers and different ideas as we know who those different parties are. So we'll have lots of ways to have your sponsorship money help out with the cause. So look for that, as well as tying that into publicity so that your ad could be in the program in different ways. Like a calling card, if you're in business, is great, but if you're not in business and don't have a Rotary calling card, we're going to create items that you can tag on to say best wishes to, good luck to Mark, best wishes, congratulations to Randy, that type of thing. So we're looking at ways to have everybody become a sponsor of something. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. Okay, and I can, Conrad is in charge of registration and doing a great job. Thank you, Conrad. Sergeant of Arms, Mr. Rotary Club of Hilo member Alan Kusunoki. And then silent auction, Mary Brigier, which she's reported she's gotten some wonderful items. So it's going to be great. As far as this is a loose itinerary of what's going on and when. Major donors is will be probably happening during the same time or just before the president-elect receptions and president's receptions. There's a lot of receptions, so we're going to try to make it worth your while. Again, Nanilo has been great in working with us and presenting options to us for all these receptions. So is there any other questions regarding the schedule? Timeline? All that's good. I want to thank Naomi for assisting with doing the layout of this for today's presentation, and to all the committee chairs and the volunteers. Now that's a big subject. We will be having volunteer opportunities, and we're trying to see how we can give most registrants time to enjoy the conference versus working it all the time. And so we may be looking into outside volunteers, people that you know that can support us in a different way, but not fully commit to becoming a Rotarian or work the whole conference. So I just wanted to put that out there, that volunteer opportunities will be coming, and we hope to all be approaching your clubs to ask if any of your members will be able to assist. And I see some things in the chat, so I'm going to go to that. All funds are okay. Let's see here. Okay, I will get back to those that I see on the regarding the registration questions, and I'm assuming the other ones are funds raised for you for DC expenses. That is correct. We hope to zero out the balance, the budget as far as incomes raised, incomes paid, so that every penny will be used to cater to you during this district conference. So woohoo, great things. Keep tuned. Remember, Rotary D5000 website is your best friend to find out information. If not, you have all of our contact information, and you are free to reach out by email or phone to ask any of the chairs or Lori and I any questions. Anything more that I need to cover?
Yeah, it's Nancy. I've got to say something, of course. What I want to emphasize, though, is that the hotel rate, Nanilo is giving us that rate for those nights of the conference and 5 days before or 5 days after, I think. So you cannot get a room for $169 anywhere in the world today. They're honoring the rate they offered to us back in 2018-19 when we were looking at having this conference in 2020, 2021 during Naomi's year. So come early, have lots of fun, relax, because those are unbelievable good room rates. And I think right now, I went into it last night. They're not showing it up on the internet to be able to click onto it, or maybe I didn't find the code or something. But anyway, don't go for the big rates. You'll definitely get the lower rates being with the conference. Okay.
Thanks,
Also,
Nancy. And That's a really good reminder to go to the district's website. So you can click on the hotel link through the district website, because then you'll get the discounted rate. So it's May 15th through the 23rd that we have those special rates, but we want everybody to register by April 15th, because after April 15th, they're going to release our block. So it would be good to do that. But Jen, can I go over the call to action for the presidents?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Celebration of Life is, you need to send that information to Mitch for whoever passed this year. And that that ceremony, someone from your club will go, and when the person is announced, put a rose or something in that vase. Okay, we're looking for goodie bag things. If you have things that you want to put in the conference bag, we're looking for silent auction items. We're looking for volunteers. So please, if you can reach out to your club members and see if you can help us with any of that. House of Friendship, if you want a table, there's only a limited amount of tables. So if you want a table to display something or sell something at the House of Friendship, please fill out that form that's going to be up soon to reserve your table. Program ads, your members can put in a business card if they want into the program, or your club can do a message for your PE. So program ads, please let your club members know. So sign up for the tours and look at the bus service. We do have an affiliate program with Hawaiian Airlines if you want to look for the lowest prices. But again, you go to the district website. So a lot of information on that sheet. So please share it with your members. Okay, thanks, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you for that follow-up too, Nimi. Got my back. Thanks. All righty.
Okay, so Benson, we're going to foundation. I've got some updates and Dell's on, but Dell, can I do some updates on the numbers?
Why don't I go and then you go, because I have some things I need to do, if that's okay. I, like Mark Merriam and Kathleen Merriam, just returned to Hawaii yesterday. So I'm still unpacking. I'm not sure how Kathleen and Mark are doing, but it was a real exciting week. I'd like, and I've been given just a brief amount of time. I see we're already kind of behind schedule. So notwithstanding, I'd like to take a moment of silence in recognition of Mark Harbison, who passed away on December 9, 2022. If anybody's done anything in the area of grants, Mark has touched your life. And he was very important to our committee. And if we just have a moment of silence, please. Thank you for indulging me. So I want to thank all of the club presidents for all the hard work you're doing. We still have a lot of work to do, but we're still trying to imagine Rotary, and seriously, if we can imagine it, we can make it happen with the Rotary Foundation. Just some things I'd like to impart on you before Naomi kind of finishes up with whatever she's going to share with you in terms of numbers. I'd like to remind us in the area of district grants, we want you to be qualified. I'm being told that not all clubs were qualified, at least the last time I received a report. I don't know if anything's changed in the last few weeks. But if it hasn't, I really would encourage you to do that. It's important because this is your money. I was reminded at the International Assembly that Mark Harbison and Mark Merriam and I just attended this past week, that the way we do things in Hawaii is very different than the way they do things in other parts of the world. Other than other parts of the world, that money that DDF that comes back to the district is spent on pet projects that the district governor gets to decide. Here, you decide how your money's spent. And so if you're not qualified, but there are conditions preceding, like being qualified and having your MOU completed and having your financial plan, management plan in, and being current on your tax requirements. And I think the other thing too is making sure that your account that you use for your club to house these monies has a proper name so that the auditing committee has an easier time. We need all those things. Those are conditions preceding to you being able to spend your money, but we want you to be qualified and to spend your money, because if you don't, there are other clubs that are more than happy to spend your money, and that's okay too, if that's okay with you. But my first preference would be that you spend your money. So that's just one takeaway. Recognize that the deadline for district grant final reporting is coming up. That's May 31. So please mark that on your calendar. And one of the things that we heard this past year with Jennifer Jones and the upcoming year with Gordon McAnally is continuity. Continuity is a continuing theme at the international level. And it's also the same way at the district level, and it should be the same thing. I'm hopefully at the club level. So please be working with your president-elects. In some cases, I think you might be the president-elect, so it might be a little bit easier for you, but not everyone has a president-elect. But be thinking about what kind of district grant kind of projects, community projects you might want to be doing locally, because your grant applications are going to come up in just a matter of months. So now's the time to be thinking about those things. I think a lot of us use our monies to do projects here locally, which is really important. But for those of you who have enough money, it doesn't mean it has to be local. It could also be an international project too. But spend it, spend your money. One of the interesting things that was brought out this past week was that only 60% of the Rotarians in the world give to the annual fund. That's crazy. And 80% support End Polio Now. So one of the big initiatives coming up is that we want to encourage every Rotarian to give something, at least $25. So I think that that's an admirable goal in Randy Hart's year, because we want that continuity. I'm going to stick my neck out on a limb and say Randy probably is going to be upset if we all gave at least something to the foundation in his year, because that's a good thing. And with that, I think I'm done. Naomi, I'll turn it back over to you. I'll just step off my soapbox.
Hey, Del, you can stay on your soapbox because these numbers are for you and for us to see where we are on giving to the annual fund. So here's the report from Rotary International on our giving, and you can see that this year we got a lot to go, but we're 75% of the goal that the clubs put in their gold money, and we've got a lot of dollars to put in. But there are 6 clubs who need to put in their numbers as well. For Polio Plus, we're at our goal is 53,000, and yeah, there are 9 clubs who have not given yet, so it would be good to do that. Endowment Fund did really well, so we're at 760,000 this year, which is awesome. So that's where we stand right now, and these are July 1st numbers. Some of them are January numbers. Then for recognition, this is the 5-year trend on numbers of members in our district. So you can see that we are, for this year, we've got a lot of E-rate, 425, but as you said, we could work on that as well. Okay, so these are this year's numbers. And then for grants, we did have 75,000 this year for district grants, 45,000 cash matched by clubs, 65,000 for global grants, and we have another 80% of that 65 coming in from the World Fund for Global Grants, but total of 185,000 for grants. And then we have Rotary's birthday and our foundation events coming up in February. So please let your clubs know that we have this on every island, and we have speakers from Rotary and Zone that will be talking about that. So look out for more information, and please sign up for these events to celebrate Rotary's birthday and celebrate the TRF, the Rotary Foundation successes. Del, was that okay?
That was awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Aloha. I'm going to unpack now.
Okay, so we're up next is Beth.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the Rotary D5000 Awards and the Rotary International Awards. And I grabbed the theme of the district conference, which is Together We Can, because Together We Can is what we do to celebrate our accomplishments during the year, especially for our club. So I'll start off by showing you some slides. And, you know, I hate Zoom and slides because I don't see your faces. So, but here we are. Together We Can. I'm Beth Hoban. I'm a member of the Rotary Club Honolulu Sunset, and I was past president in 2012. Shortly after I had joined, I was asked to become active and became a president. And I have co-chaired and chaired the awards for so many years. Naomi has been my mentor, and she continues to be my mentor and reminds me when I need certain things to be done. So thank you, Naomi. Okay, she's also helping me with moving this slide on. Next. Let me tell you about the Rotary International Awards. You can look at the website, and this, you just click on myrotary.org, and that's where you can click on. And I'll tell you there are different submission deadlines for this. March 31st and for March 31st, you have the Significant Service Award, and I'll talk about that later. Multi-Club Significant Impact Service Award, and the Avenues of Service Award. You complete the forms online, and the club president signs this off, and we submit it to the district governor. And also on June 30th, 2023, of course, is the Rotary citation. Okay, what is a Significant Service Award? I know many of us try to focus on just the club awards, but what it is, okay, it's designed to give districts an opportunity to recognize club activities that address a significant problem or need in local community. So only projects implemented by a single club are eligible for the award. So each club president may only nominate one project per year to the district governor. Now, the project that was previously recognized with the Significant Service Award are not eligible. Club nominations for this form, like I mentioned, are submitted online by the club president to the district governor, Randy Hart. And to give your project a strong chance of being selected, there are some tips to write a compelling nomination, and that's also on the website. Okay? You do not submit the form to Rotary International. You submit the form to District Governor Randy Hart. So that's about the Significant Service Award. Okay, as far as a multi-club service project, this is a new District 5000 project award. And I think it's so wonderful that clubs can get together. Like you see this one here with, I grabbed it from the website, Sonia Mendez, I see Nalani Flynn, I see Sandy, you know, so many of you there involved from different clubs that did something on, I think this was Thanksgiving. So wonderful. It's a multi-club service project. And this is something that Randy really emphasized right at the beginning of the year, you know, for clubs to get together. We talked about enticing members, retaining members, and showing the public how we can all work together. And this is significant, really great. Okay, Avenues of Service Award is the next slide. These are Rotarians or Rotaracs who have received recognition in all 5 avenues of service, how they participated in all these different avenues of service: club service, community service, vocational service, international service, youth service. They don't have to be the chair of, that member doesn't have to be the chair of the committee, but what have they done in each of those avenues of service? Okay, so that's one. Now, those are all the Rotary International Awards. What that means is that Rotary International actually provides the certificate, and you can present it at your club installation. Now let's go on to the club awards. Now, when you became president, I know when I became president, you know, the first thing our members said to me was, "Oh, are we going to go for our club awards?" Because before that, you know, the previous years, our club was Club of the Year. And I looked at it and I said, oh my gosh, that's not my focus. My focus is to do, you know, service projects, to have fellowship, increase our members. But, you know, some clubs like to focus on this club awards. And this is where you get it. It's an exciting time, especially at the district conference, when you get recognized for all the things that you did for the year. Okay, you go on the district website, rotaryd5000.org. That's a homepage. You scroll down after you see the district conference information, and you see district links. You see president and officer resources. Then you click on club awards and citations, and it opens up, expands, and you get all the information you need. On the next slide, you'll see the club award submission checklist. You download that form from the District 5000 website. You'll see that the district government citation checklists are due April 10th. Okay, so January to April, you think, oh my gosh, have I done everything? Well, you have, because you started talking about this at the beginning of the year. Email these forms to district5000awards@gmail.com. So that's Candice Naito, myself, and Naomi will be receiving your forms. The voting ballots, once it's all completed, the voting ballots will be sent to the presidents, and that we hope to get it done by April 5th. We will get it done by April 15th. Now, the presidents must complete the voting ballots by April 24. And those awards will be presented at the district conference like Jen Tanoe had talked about. That's May 19th to the 21st in 2023. Now you wonder, am I a small, large, medium club? These are the club divisions. The large club is 30 or more members. And it's nice to hear that some of you who are medium clubs are now 30 members. Medium clubs are 18 to 29 members, and the small club is 17 and under. So that's the club divisions. All right, what are the club awards about? Okay, club awards, the Club of Excellence, and each of these categories have points according to what you have accomplished. And there's a criteria for each one of them. A membership award, the Foundation Award, Public Image, Club Administration, Community Service, International Service, Vocational Service, and Youth Service. Included in that form is the District 5000 Spirit and Quiet Rotarian. I always get questions about this. The Spirit Award is somebody who just joined your club less than a year and is active right away. For example, this is the person that said, oh, they're going to chair the holiday party, or they're going to chair a committee. This is this person that started to become active. And you know what? That's the person that's going to stay in your club. Somebody who is involved in a service project right away, or even introduced a service project and was head of that service project. He or she led that service project. Okay, that's the Spirit D5000 Spirit Award. Now, Quiet Rotarian is someone in your club. And who was that person who inspired you as the president, who gave you some advice? Who is that person that you can call on when you need something, but doesn't really get that recognition? So we call that the Quiet Rotarian Award. Okay, so that's the old timer. Now, the Club of the Year. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, Naomi. That's the D5000 Spirit Award and Quiet Rotarian Award. Yeah, thank you, Naomi. Now the next one, Club of the Year. All right, it's like the award ceremony, right? The Oscars. This is the club with the highest total points from the award categories. And I showed you the different categories, and it's determined by the judges. The judges, of course, are the presidents. In the past, we had a small club judged the medium club judged the large club judged the small club. We haven't decided on that yet, might be the same thing. So besides all those total points, you have bonus points. And you know what? Those bonus points really make a difference. So if you qualify for the Digis, if your club qualify for the Digis citation, the Rotary citation as of April 15th, participating in judging, that really makes a big difference. I remember one year where the club had a tie, and then the president of that club participated in the judging. So in 2 points, just 2 points, that club won Club of the Year. Then the membership growth of 10% or more is 10 points. That's big. And I noticed a lot of you of the clubs this year had a lot of members. The annual fund per capita giving award of $100 or more is 5 points. And of course, Polio Plus giving of $50 per club or $1,500 per club. It's another 5 points. So those bonus points really can make a big difference. And of course, the increase in membership, 5% for large clubs, 10% for medium and small clubs, okay? What do we do now? You've heard all this information. What are our next steps? All right, go on the website. If you haven't done yet, and I'm sure most of you have, you review award checklist with your board and you avenue of service chairs. Where are we at all these categories? What activities have we done in the year? What can we do from now till April 9th? Because 10th is the deadline. Review award categories, the RI and District 5000 awards. Complete the forms by the deadlines and participate in judging. Like I said, the judging is the bonus points. Adrian had a question on should be $50 per person or $1,500 per club. Yes.
That was incorrect, Beth, on the slide. It said 50 per club or 1,500 per club right here, you see. I think you meant 50 per person or 1,500 per club for Polio Plus.
Oh, okay. I just got this from the website. So Ross, can you answer that? Ross.
Yes, it should be $50 per person or $1,500 per club.
Okay, thanks for bringing that up, Adrian, and thank you for clarifying that, Ross. $50 per person or $1,500 per club. Okay. Thanks. Okay, I want to thank all of you presidents for leading your club. I know it's a big task and you've rearranged many of your priorities and for, of course, caring for our community. I'll open it up for questions now if we have time. If not, you can always reach me on my email, bhoban, BHOBAN 808 @gmail.com. I've been retired, so trying to put on the chat. I'll do that later. I'll put my phone number. So if you have any questions.
Thank you, Beth.
I can do that. Yeah. I can do that on the chat. I'll show it. I'll put it on the chat. Thanks, Jen. No questions? I did such a good job. Thank you.
No questions for Beth? Okay.
They're waiting to put it on the chat. That's why they're going to contact me. I'll wait. It's okay. You can call me, email me anytime. And if I don't respond, just send that email again. I'll even give you my phone number so you can text me. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Beth. So some of the awards, we're going to give you a certificate where you can give it out at your installation or some event that you have to wrap up the year. So the Quiet and the Spirit Awards is something you can give. The avenues of service. So say you have somebody who does a really good job in community service and you want to give them a certificate, you can get that one from the RI website. So these are ones that you can do. There's also a foundation one, and we'll talk about that at another meeting, but you can award your club members for doing extraordinary things in your own club. Okay, so let me go to Rotary Club Central and show you what Beth was talking about on the Rotary Citation. Rotary Citation is the most prominent certificate or recognition that Rotary International has. And you all put in your goals. We have 100% of our clubs that put in goals, but maybe you didn't put all of your goals in and you want to update or put in your goals. You go to Rotary Club Central, so rcc.rotary.org, and go to club, the Goal Center, and input your goals and update your goals. Some of the goals are already populated by Rotary. So they would put in your membership numbers, your foundation numbers, and that comes from their database on their website. Okay, so update your Rotary Club Central information, your goals. So this year for service projects so far, we have 130 projects that are in Rotary Club Central. So thank you all for putting in your projects and marking them complete. So if they're not marked complete, it doesn't go to your citation as a completed project. But so far, Randy, take a look at this. We have completed projects, 1,000 volunteers at 1,300,000 hours. Isn't that awesome? Some people work really hard. 62,000 in cash or grant money, that all goes in there. So please go to that place on the Rotary Club Central service areas and update your projects, input your projects, and don't forget to mark it complete right here and then save it. If you don't save it, it doesn't get permanent. Okay, so hit the save button. So there's a lot of information that we need you to put into the Rotary Club Central, and please update that. Okay. So
Question about Rotary Club Central, Naomi. Is it only the president that can do this? Because we wanted the service chairs to do it too. So who gives permission to do that? Is it the president?
So Rotary International did give the person who is named in the service project position on Club Runner the ability to update that. So that's a new thing. So your president, your secretary, your treasurer, your foundation chair, your executive secretary, and the service project chair can put those numbers in. Okay. Okay, so next up we have community service. Wally?
All right. Wally here. I guess most of the things that I was going to cover, like Club Central and awards for this upcoming year, or the final part, is you guys are already talking about it. But we're looking at April, Rotarians at Work Day. That's the last weekend in April. So we're hopefully trying to get some planning started now. And I mean, there's so many projects out there. So one project is, I think we're looking at probably planting coconut trees. I know is Upsala on today.
Yes, hi. So I did mention a little bit about it in the beginning of the training. So yeah, really excited about it. And once I have a little bit more details, I will send out an email to all the presidents. But I think what we are trying to do is to plan it on the west side. And as you guys know, the West Oahu Rotary Clubs are trying to do more projects and collaborate a lot this year. And it has given more attention to the community about who we are and what Rotary is. And a lot of people are excited to volunteer and help us out, and hopefully becoming members too. But once we get the specific site to plant these trees, I will send out an email to everyone, because we could really need a lot of help.
Yeah, that would be great. And then, for at least the coconuts, I know there was a news article about that rhinoceros beetle eating everything up over there, right? Destroying all the coconuts. So that looks like probably a good project that we can work on. And then if our clubs can start looking at getting those coconut starters already, looking around for coconut starters or finding coconuts and getting them ready, so you can start the process already. So by the time April comes along, you have starters already, and we're not looking for coconuts to start. So that might be something if we're planning to do this project, to start looking ahead, where are you going to get the coconuts from? And then looking at places where we're going to plant coconuts. I know, there's other projects coming up we can work with at the schools, and we're probably not going to be planting coconut trees at the schools, but, if we can find out where we can, plant coconuts, around the state, that'll be probably things that we can look at.
So UH West Oahu actually gave this organization like 11,000 square feet area to plant. So we're hoping to maybe use that one and 2 other locations on the west side. So I'm meeting with them this month to find out about the seeds and all of everything that needs to be done before we start planting. So yeah, it's in the works, but if anyone has any more knowledge or resources about this, that would be helpful too.
Great. So, that's like one project that we can, get together and work on. And if there are other clubs that have some big projects coming on for Rotary at Work Day, if you want to share that today, that'll be great. If not, just, try to put that together, and you can get on the website, and we can start adding that to, lists that we may need volunteers for. We can work on that too.
Susie, you got your hand up. You have a question? Go ahead.
No, just we have scheduled for the East Hawaii, actually Hawaii Island Clubs, our final Genki ball making session for the toss at the district conference. So we'll be making 1,000 balls at the Kuokala greenhouse, as we've been doing. So that's open to everyone, and we'll be sending out a sign up genius, but that is scheduled for Rotarians at Work Day.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Any other clubs or islands planning things for Rotary at Work Days that you might need help on?
Hi, Wally. This is Ryan Char. I don't mean to interrupt your portion because we're going to be talking about youth service here in a little bit, and maybe some collaboration between Rotary at Work, Rotarians at Work Day, and the Coconut Project that you're working on. But I just want to let folks know that the district would like to see if we can do some joint projects, obviously in April, with youth and all of you with your Rotary clubs, as well as your partner Interact clubs. And so I'll be talking about that in a bit, related to the Coconut Tree Project and others. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great. Getting the youth involved. There's also another program that we're going to be starting called Kanu, and we're probably going to get more information out on that too. I'm not sure if you guys already talked about that, but that's something that we're looking at too, to help promote membership as well as getting more community projects going.
And I'm just going to add a little bit more. So I'm going to write an email with all the details of like why we're planning this project and why it's important for the Hawaii community. But Mainly it is, just so you guys are aware, like there's a huge food insecurity still in Hawaii. And what a lot of people don't know or have not maybe paid too much attention to is that especially in touristy areas of Oahu, you'll see the coconut trees, but without coconuts. And that is mainly because, you know, there's some issues where it has fallen and it's like a liability issue. But for people of Hawaii, this is a very sensitive topic because, you know, this is the tree of life for many. You know, this is something where you can drink water from, you can eat and use as oil, or, you know, there's so many things that you can do with the coconut, even with its leaves and stuff. So it's very sad that it's kind of fading away. And what happens a lot of times is that these trees are growing, but as soon as these coconuts are growing before the food is produced, then they cut them off. But this food can be used for so many people, and it's really a shame that they're not being used, especially for the locals. So yeah, I'll send out more information about it, but it's really a huge topic. And this documentary that this group that I want to work with, they recently won the Hawaii International Film Festival too, by shooting like a short documentary about this project. So I think this will be a really fun thing to work on and for Rotary to be involved in.
Hey, Wally, maybe we can have another Zoom with all of the community service people that can share and then try and collaborate on projects. Okay?
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, that's great. Good. Okay, that's all I got for now, I guess. Thank you. And then yeah, we'll plan another with community service directors, and we can get on and do that too. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So Benson, we're going to put Nancy on with vocational service right now. Nancy?
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me okay? Most people hear me too much. Yeah, I have to fly to Oahu in a little bit, so I'm gonna have to jump out before this ends. But vocational, I kind of got assigned to that after the year had started, so I don't have a whole lot of pre-planning that's gone into it. I've talked to a number of people from different clubs of what they've done and tried to connect with different vocational chairs in the committee. I think it's something we need to pay a lot more attention to in the future, because vocational was the foundation of Rotary, vocational, and service in that order when Rotary was founded, and honesty in business. So ideas that people are doing, and you and presidents can look at your vocational chairs and try and see if you've got some way to implement some of these, is having your members do 3 to 5 minute type talks, either every meeting or every other meeting, depending on the size of your membership, that matters. And they can talk about the job they have now, or the vocation or the profession they're in now, the one they had before. You know, retirees may not be working, but they could still talk about what they did in the past. And a lot of them had really interesting jobs, and are talking a special time about a special project that they might be working on. Particularly some of our members are involved in community service or community events that are really powerful to what happens in our community, even if it's the building of a new building or the expansion of the airport, a hotel that's coming in, because that has huge ramifications to our communities. So getting the inside scoop, sometimes just not what's in the newspaper, if anything is in the paper, can help give us some kind of additional information about our community. I think too, in these trying times, it's an opportunity also to have a segment of help wanted. So you could have somebody as a member stand up and say, I'm looking for an employee that can ABC, or the other side of that is some member can stand up as I have knowledge of, maybe they're currently an employee that you're letting go, that's great, but not great for that job, or a family friend, a family member, you know, that is looking for a job. So it might be a great place for people to put together, because I'm going to trust my Rotarians to, you know, give me a good reference. Still my choice to hire somebody, but also you know, it's a great idea to share that need. So that's another idea of how to have vocation be part of your meetings. Vocational visits is something our club's done before COVID, and we're looking to put it back in. We have 1 month when during Mary Monarch and Hilo, the hotels won't let us come there. They're too busy. So we often break out and we're a big club. So we have about 10 to 12 people go to a different business that week, have a bento, pay their 10 used to be $10, now $15 for a bento, and get a tour of what that business is. Of course, in Hilo, Dodo Mortuary is one of our most interesting tours that we all get to go on. So it's been interesting, but I've been to a huge number of places and their jobs and their vocation, the harbor, Mauna Kea Mountaintop. There's such interesting things that our fellow Rotarians are involved in and where they work. And if you're a small club, then the whole club can go on that vocational trip, and you could do that even more often if you're 10, 12, 15 people maybe attending a meeting. So it's the idea of learning about your fellow Rotarians' business at their business. So that has been really, really popular. The Maui Sunrise Club, I think, was the one that did the Rotary Means Business. And they invited other businesses in the community to a social poo-poo kind of hour and had people talk, and they did get members out of that. That's an excellent idea, because Rotary Mean Business is a tagline for Rotary, and Naomi knows more of it. It's in our websites too, and our district sites of putting that up. And you could organize something like that and invite businesses to come to it, to share business information. And that also is a great time. The membership committee could work with them, and then you got a little bit more organizational power, and you can look at both outcomes. And that's what we've done in Hilo also. It helped with our membership. So then another thing that's really missing is even in my club, we go into our club runner, and half the people don't put down what their vocation is and what their business is, and that's a huge thing. You as a president or your vocational chair, check out your own club runner. Are your members putting that data in? So, and then the other reason is I'm a business person, and trust me, over my 30 plus years in Rotary, I worked the room. I've come to Rotary meetings and handed contracts to other members, signed checks, delivered checks, you know, and really my preference is to do business with a fellow Rotarian. And with that concept, other people in business are going to look to become members, because in addition to the great community service, there are going to be business connections there. And that's really, when I joined, that's what I was told it was all about. And that's why I joined. And absolutely, Rotary's done great for me in terms of my business. So I think that there's a lot we can do internally in our own club runner, internally with our own club and the information we share, and supporting the idea that we are in business. And that's what helps make the money that we can then donate to the different foundations. So basically, and I'm up for ideas if other people have things that I don't know about that you've done for communities, vocational service, if there's time. Okay. Questions? Okay.
Nancy, I don't have any questions, but I do think that it's a real a challenge. You know, I sort of get the sense that maybe in our club, I don't know, we have maybe retired members, that it's really more for volunteering to do good in the community and not to promote ourselves, not to promote our businesses. And there seems to be a sense that it's not really appropriate. And that's just the flip side of how Rotary got started, was as a business networking.
Mm-hmm.
And I sense that we sort of drifted away from that into just doing all these feel good, do good projects without promoting our own businesses. So that's something I got to think about and see. I mean, we've had a couple of talks in our club, but I think we'll have to do some more, or somehow make people aware that this is business networking. And I totally know what you mean about trusting another Rotarian. when I was in Detroit, I had one of the Rotarians give me a tour of the city, because that's where I grew up. And my old school friend said, how could you go with that guy? You don't even know who he was. And I said, he's a Rotarian.
Yeah.
And you trust. That's the hugest thing, is that you trust the person in business and in the community. And so I know that's a challenge, I think, that our club has, and that I'll have to work on presenting more vocational promotions.
Well, yeah.
And getting
response
out to
that
view
is-
businesses, that's always, that's not, everybody wants all this stuff, but no, say, okay, who'll volunteer, and it's dead silence.
Yeah, no, and all the clubs are having that problem, because it's cute and it's friendly and all hugs and kisses when we talk about community service. But one of the greatest things we could do is help somebody start a business and provide a service to our community. So, and if every business in our community lived by the 4-way test, wow, we wouldn't even have to think about hearing these stories, how our own members are got, used and abused and scammed on. So I think if the idea goes back to it is a community service to help support good, honest, and ethical businesses in our community, wow, that would help everybody in our community. Those of us, we think we're bright enough to not get scammed, but that means there's a whole lot of other people that are getting scammed if that business is lying and cheating or giving bad product out. So I think helping to help good businesses be successful helps everyone. That's my pitch.
I have something to contribute as far as vocational. We travel to Mesa, Arizona a lot because we have a grandson there and we bought a place. And we got a letter from the home association that we needed a roof re-roofed and our place painted. And we thought, gee, I can't just go on the website and look around. So we went to a Rotary Club, Rotary Mesa West. And I just talked to a few Rotarians. I talked to the president first, and I said, I need somebody to do a roof and somebody to do painting. And I need a handyman to go into our house to change a light bulb that's on the staircase. And they gave me all these names of their members. And they did such a terrific job. In fact, a couple of them said, because you're Rotarian, we'll give you a discount. I said, no discount. It's business. And we were just so glad. And we've been going to that club ever since and developed some fellowship. And we keep in touch. In fact, every time we go there, we attend their meeting and we feel like we're a member of their club. They treat us like a member of their family. The other thing too is, one is a dentist, and one of my friends needed a dentist, and I said, let me call this person. I just met her. She's a past president of this Rotary Club. I got her card and referred her to a friend from Arizona who, so it's really great. This networking is so important. I really believe in it.
Good. Thanks, Beth. I own property on a place. I always ask my friends in that town, but I think they're getting tired of me asking them for favors or to find people. I'm going to the Rotary Club. Good idea.
Yeah, Mesa West is a great club. And we've attended the Superstition Springs Club too. Different clubs, Yeah,
Good.
It's great.
Okay. Any more comments or questions about vocation? It's open. Everybody come up with great ideas, what you can do and where your club's at. It's hard when you've got a club of retirees because they're not really into that, but yet it could be, and that's going to be part of your link, I think, to younger members too. They're also busy working. I think having membership for younger people to support their businesses and to support families is going to be really part of Rotary growth in the future. So, okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hey, Doug's got a question. Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't have a question for Nancy because I know everything. But I did want to just jump on that. So this is your friendly neighborhood government bureaucrat. Just saying what Nancy is saying is absolutely important. We have, as a part of our tradition and as part of our origins, exactly what Nancy was talking about. And if you take a look today, at the needs for support for entrepreneurs in our communities, it's really, really important. So Adrian, I would even say that even if clubs are primarily composed of retirees, the wealth of experience and knowledge that those clubs have to support our younger entrepreneurs is really, really important. It's a way to make sure that we continue to grow the kind of economy that we want to grow here. Doing some of the things that Paula's talking about as well. All of this is associated with that kind of work. So that's my soapbox. And thank you, Nancy.
Maybe that would be then to go to Pacific Business News and see who they highlight as starting a new business, and then get one of those people to come and talk to the club to promote their businesses. I think that's the thing, is that it, right, Nancy? Because we've gotten so much on the community, you know, going out and doing volunteer, that we're forgetting that, as you and Doug have said, is that promoting young businesses and entrepreneurs is perhaps the best community service, because it
Yeah.
generates money, and you got to have money to be able to build compost machines.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, I would say, and I would say Pacific Business News would be a great resource. Their book a list. So if you say we'd like to hear from somebody new and young and whatever, you know, they have that list. You'll go to the top firm, go to the 100th guy, not the top one, you know, and then that would be a young person probably, or, you know, look at those lists of what they're doing in your community. And, you know, and they're your neighborhood too. Some aren't located in the same area of town for you. Okay, thank you.
You know, Naomi, didn't we used to have a business directory? It seemed like I saw like a Rotary business directory.
Mhm.
Yes, it's still on the website, and also there's the yellow pages. Yellow pages, you can self input the information, and it's a free listening.
Yeah. Sorry for not including that. I knew that too. And but even on your own club runner, you don't have it. So we need to get those up, beefed up a lot.
We
Okay,
just need
thank
to
you.
make people aware of that, because to say it's up on the website or it's here, it's there, everybody's overwhelmed with all of this stuff. And yeah, I think that would be helpful to somehow promote it more on the district level, not just have it on the website, but somehow promote it more. But I will leave that to those who know more about that than I do.
Paula, you had a comment or a question?
Yes. So, okay, I'm not gonna talk too much,
Go-
but
go for it.
you speaking about this, we actually have an event going on end of this month, and to promote businesses and also put some highlight into new businesses in the community. So it's like a speed networking event. So instead of speed dating, we're going to do speed business networking. And it's going to be really fun. Everyone bring their business cards, and yeah, just get to know the community better, of like all the different businesses that they're there. So the event is on the 30th. So if you want to participate, or you know of someone who has started a new business and needs a little bit more of a highlight, then just, yeah, please come to this event. It's free, and we're gonna provide poo-poos and drinks. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, but it's limited seating because it's free. So please let me know ahead of time. I think I put on the invite that on the 23rd, I would like to have a head count. So, and the event is on the 30th. And I think Naomi is posting it on the district newsletter as well.
It's posted on the district website.
Okay, perfect. So yeah.
Great, excellent work. Good job. Let us know how it turns out. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Nancy.
Okay.
So Naomi, you want to go to youth service now?
Yeah, we're gonna take a break. So I guess if anybody needs to go, just go and then come back. But we've got still
Keep
girls
going.
empowerment and youth service. So Ryan has a lot to cover. So let's just go with Ryan.
Yeah, I guess if anybody needs a break, feel free, but there's a lot to cover, so I'd like to just keep going, Naomi. So good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Char, your youth service chair. There's a lot to cover today, but I do want to start off with a little bit of a segue from what Wally was describing with Rotarians at Work Day coming up here in April. There is a big push from the district here to do something that will be in partnership with an organization called Kanu Hawaii that supports an event in the month of April as part of Earth Day, what it called previously as Volunteer Week Hawaii, but will be Volunteer Month this year. It will consist of the entire month of April. The goal is to get as much volunteerism and service hours during the month of April publicized amongst the state of Hawaii. And through this event, the organization Kanu has partnerships with hotels, airlines, a lot of the travel industry, as well as the schools. And so that's where my interfaces started with being a youth service chair is obviously our Interact clubs in all of our middle school and high schools. So this month I have a very big ask, but it should be a very hopefully less of a lift than maybe it sounds like, is that for our Rotarians at Work Day, as kind of Wally had laid out for April, that we make the projects that we do as a club part of the volunteer month program in Kanu's organization. And what that means is that the project will be listed in a volunteer database. It will be visible to the public and assist Kanu Hawaii with tracking how much community service hours are done throughout the month of April. And if your club so chooses, you may choose to open the event to the public. And I think that while that may inherently cause some difficulties with project planning and execution, particularly with our youth and youth protection, it is an opportunity for clubs to solicit new members, spread the word about Rotary and what Rotarians at Work Day is and why we do projects around the state of Hawaii, and be an interesting membership push. And all that really means for us is that we're going to take our Rotarians at Work Day project and brand it as a volunteer month project through Kanu Hawaii. Why I'm talking about this is because of our youth clubs. The organization also has a partnership with the Department of Education where students will be also a part of Volunteer Month. And so our Interact clubs should also be doing projects that are part of Volunteer Month. I don't think they need to be separate projects. So if your club already has an Interact club and is doing a Rotarians at Work Day that you invite your Interact club to, that is fine to satisfy kind of this request. If you have not yet prepared or thought of your Rotarians at Work Day project, I humbly ask you to consider getting with your Interact club and asking them to come up with a project as part of their Interact club activities with their school, and that your Rotary clubs support that project and make that a part of Volunteer Month. Because this partnership with the schools is very important to me. What is occurring is that Kanu Hawaii is signing a 5-year memorandum of understanding with the Department of Education, where Volunteer Month and another part of this organization, Pledge to Our Keiki, will be within our schools for the next 5 years. And I want to position our Interact clubs as the ambassador for this program within the Department of Education. So this was an opportunity that came to us, didn't come to Key Club, it didn't come to Lions Club or Leo. Our Interact clubs can be the voice of Pledge to Our Keiki and Volunteer Month in the DOE. And so that's why I'm humbly asking you to consider doing a project at the school with your Interact clubs as part of your Rotarians at Work Day and this Volunteer Month request. So that's quite a mouthful. I'll let folks maybe digest a bit on that, but I do think it is a membership opportunity, and it's an opportunity to increase Rotary's brand, both in the Department of Education as well as the state of Hawaii. So if you want to do that as part of this coconut planting project with our Oahu Island clubs, that is totally great and possible. It would align, I think, with the mission of Volunteer Month Hawaii, as well as Pledge to Our Keiki, because of its environmental focus. I see a question, Susie, go ahead.
Yes, we want to do that with the Genki Ball project on Hawaii Island.
Absolutely.
Our councilwoman Ashley Kirkowitz had asked us to do this registration with Kanu. So how do I do that?
I am working with Kanu Hawaii right now to get that information, because if you go on Kanu's website, they still have 2022 Volunteer Week Hawaii still. I am working on those registrations instructions. What I can tell you is that I've solicited a somewhat of a subcommittee of my group that will be reaching out to every single Rotary Club in the state of here, 52 clubs. Hopefully most of you are represented here, to convey the information that I've spoken about today, gather your interest, get your information on your project, and Rotary District 5000, myself and my assistant, will register your project for you. The point of that being is that that way within the database, we can see Rotary statewide's impact in volunteer numbers and volunteer hours as a whole. If you sign up individually, I will not be able to track that unless I hound you down separately. So that is the goal, Susie. I'm hoping to make this easy for you. An email and solicitation will go out to each Rotary Club, regardless of if you have an Interact Club or not, to identify what your project may be, and if you're interested. And I think my point to all of you as presidents is that I really want this to be something like, at least 90% of our clubs are going to do. I know you're all striving to do a Rotarians at Work Day project, so really this shouldn't be that difficult. I don't want like a handful of clubs to do this and then to our result to be like, oh, we tried to do Kanu Hawaii's Volunteer Month and we only had 10 clubs participate with 100 people. Like this needs to be something the district really wants to see a majority of clubs being involved with. So I thank Susie for your commitment there. If you do joint projects, that's not a problem either, right? If you do a joint project with another club, we'll brand that as the same project, and your clubs will be participating in it as a joint project. So that's not a problem either.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead. Benson, do you have a question?
Yeah, no, good. I just was saying, yeah, good. Sounds good. Keep going.
So yeah, the other thing is tied to this is our pledge to our keiki that I mentioned. Regardless, and this is somewhat separate from Volunteer Month, it is an opportunity for our Interact clubs to work with our schools to sign the pledge. I know the MOU is going to be signed by the Department of Education soon, but it hasn't been yet. I think even though it hasn't been signed, if you go to the website that Naomi put in the chat for Pledge to Our Keiki, I think both Rotarians and our students and our youth agree with this statement. It's a pledge to invest in our Keiki's future. The more I think Kanu Hawaii gets from people supporting the pledge, the bigger the support will be from the Department of Education and its partners. And we'll see the returns as an organization here at Rotary. Again, my overall vision and goal here is to really get increased memberships to our Interact clubs, increase vision and maybe mission to our Interact clubs. And I think that also applies to our Rotary clubs as well. I'm looking forward to working with Wally in the future here to kind of release this. But again, just to recap, we're gonna be sending out information to each of the clubs, asking you about your projects, your Interact club support, having your Interact club sign the pledge, identifying your projects, and getting those projects registered with the Volunteer Month in the database. The organizers at Volunteer Month said if you do need resources and support, they do have sponsors that they can contact. So that is another opportunity for Rotarians to get additional support in both maybe volunteer hours as well as from the public, as well as financial resources. You'll conduct the projects and then District 5000 will pull the results and continue this in the next few years with our youth Interact clubs and just see how we can re-energize our clubs throughout the state. So that is my goal. if anybody has any questions on that, even I'm still getting really into the weeds on it. You'll be hearing more from me here in the next week or two. You may be seeing an email from someone that I've solicited to help me. But the person that I've solicited to help me as a plug is my former Roosevelt Interact Club president, who's a marketing manager at her firm, which is a software firm here in Hawaii. So Rotarians and Interactors all the way around. I'm trying to get our youth involved in this as well as much as possible. Just a couple of last quick plugs and I'll open up to questions. RILA, get your students registered for RILA, please. Oahu is at Camp Homalani. Big Island is at KMC. Maui is on Camp Kenai. They need sponsorships. They need students to apply. It is coming up sooner than you think, in less than a month for many. I know Big Island is doing very well on registration. Oahu needs more students applying as soon as possible. And for students that are applying from your clubs, please support them at $150 a person. You can send that information, that check into the district treasurer at the PO box, make it attention RILA, and make sure your club's name is notated on it. HRYF, students should be applying as well. The deadline for the application is February 1st. You need to conduct your interviews by February 18th. So please, clubs, do not miss your opportunity to give out $5,000 worth of scholarships to a student. And please do not forget to prepare yourselves for next year's donation support expectation to continue to give that $5,000 scholarships out every year. And my last plug is our District 5000 did give out $2,500 worth of grants to $500 each to 5 Interact clubs within the state. Those clubs are working on their grant projects right now, but that was another opportunity that the district offered this year, and hopefully you saw from me, to support and re-energize our Interact clubs by giving them some money to do bigger projects in their communities. And so I should have a fuller report on those projects at the district conference. Naomi and Benson, I think that's it. Stay tuned for more information. There's other things that I didn't talk about that I could ramble on for many more minutes, but that's what I'd want to at least impress on the presidents today. Any questions? Did I miss any in the chat? All right.
Ryan,
Yes, Wendy.
I think, and Joanne, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Maui Camp RILA got moved to Kihei Charter School.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, because of, I guess, it didn't work out with Camp Kenai, but it is still going on. We definitely need registrations. So Maui clubs, make sure you let your schools know, because we definitely still need a lot more registrations if we can get them as well.
Thanks for the update. Okay, I will be reaching out to all of you soon. You'll see an email from someone with my name on it as well. So please, please, please respond to it. It is important to Randy that we continue to push this partnership with Kanu and increase our energy and our volunteerism in the month of April. Thanks.
Hey, Ryan, just wanted to say thank you, pal, for taking the lead with Kanu. I do think it can be a huge win-win for Rotary, our youth and Kanu. So thanks, pal. Sure appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep, awesome. So everybody, if you can click on that link and sign the pledge, it'll only take you like 30 seconds to do it. So let's help and sign the pledge. Okay, Benson, can we go to Girls Empowerment, Nancy Pace?
Hi, everyone, and thank you, DG Randy and PDG Naomi, for spearheading this information session. I'm Nancy Pace. I was president of the Rotary Club of Honolulu from 2011 to 13, and this year I have the privilege of co-chairing with PDG Nalani Flynn, the Girls Empowerment Committee. Currently, we have 12 members on our committee, including past District Governor Sandy Matsui. Our priorities this year have included and will include, moving forward, education on girls' empowerment, projects, both local and global, and events. We have created a speakers bureau. It's on the D5000 website. It's under the tab What We Do. So you are feel free to contact those individuals. I've contacted almost all of those people and discussed what they might do with clubs and what they might speak on, but you have to be a little bit more comprehensive on what you want. On February 11th, there is International Day of Women and Girls in Science. So I encourage people to think about STEM projects for girls. And on May 24th, there's International Women's Day of Peace. Club project ideas, we've also put those on the D5000 website as a resource for you. And on October 17th, the Star Advertiser had a very large article about the tremendous need in our community for girls' goodie bags, which contain sanitary products. Thanks to the Rotary Club of West Pearl Harbor, who did a goodie bag drive early on in the year, and also to Nalani Flynn and the Waianae Christmas Parade and Waianae Club. They also did a drive and had a Rotary booth there. If you would also put your projects onto Rotary Central, please, I can look through those and determine who is actually doing or who has done girls empowerment projects. Other project ideas might be collect prom dresses for the Bella Project, financial literacy training for girls, training and self-defense, introduce girls to non-traditional careers, internet safety, and reading to girls in schools. I'd ask you to highlight your club or send me that information if you've had girls empowerment speakers, and we can put that information on the website as well. We also have a potential global grant going in Colombia, Girls Empowerment Grant to prevent teen pregnancy in remote areas of Colombia. We will be having a girls empowerment event on each of the islands. The intent of these is education about girls empowerment issues, have a project at the event, and also recruitment for potential Rotary members, fellowship, and networking. On Kauai, Marjorie Bennett will be spearheading that. It will be on a Saturday in the spring, outdoors, and she will have women business speakers and invite young girls to discover potential careers. On Maui, Joanna Laird and Della Nakamoto on March 11th will have a tea at Kahuamanu Mall, and this will highlight women in non-traditional careers and roles. On Hawaii, Connie
What day
Ichinozi.
was Maui again, please?
Maui is March 11th, and all of this will be on the website. We have a meeting coming up this week, so we're firming up everything, and then all of this will be on the D5000 website. On Hawaii, Connie Ichinozi and Kathleen McGilvray will be having an event in early March, and Kathleen will be the speaker for that. And on Oahu, on April 15th, Nalani Flynn is organizing an event, and that will be at Inspiration Restaurant. I am currently working to try to determine if we can get a speaker at the district conference that would speak on girls' empowerment issues. I have met Amanda Ellis, she was previous New Zealand ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva, and she is currently the United Nations Women Empowerment Principal. She's on that board. I will be having lunch with her this week to determine how Rotary in Hawaii can best meet the goals of women's empowerment. She has met multiple times with our RI president, Jennifer Jones, and together they've been brainstorming how we can highlight this area of girls' empowerment. So that's basically the committee and what we're doing. And if you have any questions, happy to answer them. Okay. That's it.
Any questions for Nancy? Any questions about girls and women empowerment? Okay. Naomi?
Okay. Are there any questions for any of our presenters or for Randy? Everybody is good?
Overwhelmed, maybe?
Yeah, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And
But you're
I
doing a
hate to-
great job. Just continue doing it.
yeah, this last thing with Nancy is very, very interesting because we just chartered an Interact with Sunset with La Pietra School for Girls. So I would find it helpful if to get the links to all of these things that she was talking about, if we could have an email showing the links, because to say, well, it's on the website and go find it. The website is like a labyrinth. And then I could forward that to our youth chair, especially if we want to hook it up with the Rotary Workday and the project. I think that's very interesting. And about speakers, I know the D5000 website has a list of speakers that people have gone. I know that when other clubs have sent things, oh, we had the speaker, it was very helpful to see who they had. And sometimes then we could ask those people to come and speak to our club too. So even though we get overwhelmed with emails, having one that from the presenters, that each one saying, here's the direct links to the site, I would find helpful.
That's the purview of, I think, someone else.
Okay, we'll make sure that gets posted up. Our website is really the treasure trove of information. So you know, go there, or you can connect with Randy, connect with Naomi, myself, you know, and anybody that's in leadership in the district. Okay, Naomi.
Well, okay, let me go to the website to show you where some of these things are so that you can find them. So this is our district website. And here under news, you have the yellow pages. And this is where people can put in their information about their business and the directory. And so the directory has about 175 Rotary businesses listed. Now, when you go to what we do and you have the avenues of service, the Girls Empowerment Initiative is right here. So when you go to Girls Empowerment, Nancy has a lot of information about what it is. Her Speakers Bureau is right here, and you can find names and contact information for speakers on girls empowerment. There is an Empowering Girls brochure from Rotary International that is here, and then suggested projects. So here are the coordinators of the events. I guess the dates for the events can be put on there, and the sign-up sheets. So Nancy will put that in. We can maybe send that out separately.
Yes, well, I'll put that on as soon as we have the meeting this week and everything is confirmed. I just didn't want to put it on yet.
Okay, but this is the area that you can find information in the future. And of course, there will be more information about the events later on as they come up so that you can get the word out and sign people up. Okay, so here we have, where is it? Under what we do, avenues for community service. This is where Wally has information on projects. So if you have a project, you want to put it up there. We can put it in there. There's another one for events and fundraisers. So any of that information can be put up on the website. Okay. So right now we have just 15 minutes left, and we wanted to do a course correction with what we're working on. So Benson, do we want to go? And then I have some reminders at the end.
Yeah, let me just spend a couple of quick minutes here. You know, I just wanted to sort of emphasize what Adrian just said, that it's super overwhelming. And I want us to just take a second right now and think about, you know, we had as many as 60 people on this call today. And so I want us to, because our theme is Imagine Rotary. So for a second, imagine what our state would be if there was no Rotary. If the 60 people that were on this call today decide, you know what, I'm just going to take a break today, or I'm going to pass, or I'm just going to shine Rotary on. If we didn't have dedicated people like the people that are on this call today. And the reality of it is that we as a group make an enormous impact in this state and in so many ways, you know, and empowerment of women and youth services and community service. And that's what we do. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't always go the way we want it to go. And one of the things that makes our district really unique, and Randy's probably going to mention this because every time I show up in a meeting with Randy, he mentions this, is that our district really has probably the most robust training of any group that's out there. And it's not, I'm not just saying that to blow my own horn. I'm saying that the way to engage people is to have events where people can come to learn, right? And so if you're looking at your club and you say, man, you know, we're going in the wrong direction, or we want to get more focused on moving forward, the way to do it is to engage people in the training that's offered in our district. So February 11th, that's board training. And probably of the most influential group of people in your club is the board. And it's, so if they're going to make any kind of course correction or emphasize goals or follow through on anything that the club wants to do, it's the board that's going to do it. And that's February 11th. That's a training. Now, we're going to take the whole new group of people to PETS, man. We're really excited about that. When they come back, they'll be psyched up and ready to go. So March 25th, Vibrant Clubs, that's basically the hallmark of where Rotary is in terms of getting your club set up with a strategic plan about getting people engaged in it. That's coming March 25th, and then April 1st and April 9th is when we do our basically our statewide district training, and that usually engages typically a couple of hundred people in our district. So all of that's coming up, and so, you know, I wanted to really acknowledge all the people that show up at these calls. They're engaged, they participate, they want Rotary to be successful, because without all of you and the commitment that you make individually to Rotary, really hard to keep this many things going all simultaneously. So I'll stop right there. Naomi, I'll turn it back to you. You probably got a couple things, and then Randy's going to take us home. Thank you.
Okay, so, you know, we talked about all of the projects that we do, and Randy wants to do a report for district conference on what we did. So putting in the projects onto Rotary Club Central is good, but it doesn't have a place for putting on the number of people impacted by your project. So, you know, Benson's right, without Rotary, a lot wouldn't happen, but we are touching a lot of people. So there's going to be a form we're sending you. If you can write down in there by May 1st, what was your most impactful project? So put a description about that, or maybe you have more than one. How many lives were impacted by your service projects, all of your service projects? Put that in there, because we want to have a total for our district. And then if you have any pictures, send that on. So the form is coming out. We'll send it to you so that you can report that for Randy to compile, and we'll have that at the district conference. Okay, so reminders, to recap, we had a reminder about HRYF, about RILA. So HRYF applications are due February 1st. RILA is coming up, so we need to send that money into your coordinators, your island coordinators. Help your PE so that continuity from year to year, helping your PE, helping the incoming boards transition in is really important. So help your PE get the grant qualifications in. The forms are due end of this month, and that is for the grants next year. So this year we're done. People need to get their money, do their projects. And as Dell said, the final reports are due May 31st. Update your board rosters on Club Runner this month and then plan for the Rotarians at Work Day. Doug?
Yeah, thanks, Naomi. This probably doesn't need to be said, so I'll say it. The item number 2, where it says, hey, identify the number of lives impacted. Some of you will be really paying attention to rule number 1, which is it the truth? And I would just encourage you to remember that you will, of course, identify, is it the truth in that number? But as somebody who receives reports from folks that we give funds to, we do ask that question of them as well. And it's a matter of, not just the immediate, but also the indirect folks that are impacted by the works that you're doing. So, but encourage you, you don't have to be super splashy with it. You'll, of course, probably be rather conservative, but you all know those numbers, at least as a way of, even if you haven't, don't have it right down, it'll be something that you'll be able to identify, in your gut. And I would tell you that's the way that you would identify those numbers. So thank you for allowing me to mansplain that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay.
You're just talking about one project though, right? Not.
You want all of the projects. How many lives have you impacted this whole year?
From all the different projects.
Right. So we'll break it down if you have a multi-club, so we don't double count numbers. So we'll have a form for you to fill out, and that would be due May 1st. Okay, Randy, you want to wrap us up?
Sure. Again, most importantly, we did have over 60 folks participating today. So thank you for all the folks that showed up today and spent 3 hours of your Saturday morning with us. A lot of effort went in to putting the program together. Benson, Naomi, and all the presenters all did just such an excellent job to bring us all up to date on where we're at, where we're going. All of you and your best practices, I think is the most important thing that we draw from this mid-year update, because that's where the good ideas come from. That's where the way ahead comes from. Where when you're struggling, and those great ideas just propel us forward into doing great things. And one of the things that was said early on that I think is very, very important is whenever we collaborate and do things together instead of individually. A lot of the clubs coming together and doing things together, making a big difference throughout the whole state. And Paula kind of brought it all home, with her effort, to try and do the coconut tree event. Again, it's collaborating. And when we do things together, it becomes much, much more noteworthy than whenever we're doing things individually. If one club's planting coconut trees in April, it's probably going to get very, very little notoriety. But if 53 clubs are planting coconut trees on a date in April, whether it's April spills over into May, it becomes PI, it becomes noteworthy for all of us. It makes just a huge, huge difference. Benson mentioned training. You all have heard me mention it time and again. I think it's very, very, very important. I think it's important for those that are following us to know that they don't have to learn everything on their own. That the district has what I would consider probably better training than even what you'll get at PETS. Now, I would obviously, and I did last year, highly encourage everybody to attend PETS. That's where the energy and the direction and all the fervor that Mark and his team is going to start their year out with. So pets is very, very, very important. And just a plug for all the presidents to make sure that their PEs attend all the pre-pets training, because it's just very, very important for you to be prepared. So whenever you get to pets, you know, every minute of that time is spent very productively. Speaking of training, and I think Naomi mentioned it earlier briefly, very important for all the presidents to make sure that their membership chairs and or themselves and anybody else who wants to attend is more than welcome to attend the membership training that we got coming up on the 11th of February. Just very, very important, especially it's important for all of us to continue to grow Rotary, but also to be able to help those clubs that are struggling. And we'll be able to do that with intention, with just a laser focus just on membership that morning. I apologize for my dog barking, but there's no way for me to stop her. Last plug I've got is district conference. Last time I looked, we only had about 26, 27 of the presidents that have signed up for the district conference. The district conference is all about you. It's not about me. It's not about what happens in the district. It's all about the presidents to come and celebrate their accomplishments. And we highlighted just a few of them today. And there'll be a ton more between now and the time that the 19th of May rolls around. So do please, get signed up for the district conference. Come on over. It's affordable, and it'll be good fun. With that, again, I'd just like to say thank you. I appreciate it, each and every one of you, and all the efforts that you're putting forth this year, and all the good that you're doing both locally and around the world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you all again soon.
Thank you,
Aloha.
Randy. Thank you.
If anybody has questions, we're still here. Arlene had her hand up for a question. Arlene? Oh, that was a wave by. Okay, any questions?
Great job, everyone. Well done.